When you are not eating processed foods, you need more salt. Welcome back, it's Kandi, and today I'm going to make some carnivore chips with eye of round roast. So I went to Sam's Club and picked up an eye of round roast. It's been in the freezer ever since I've gotten home, so for a couple hours. So it's pretty much frozen on the outside slightly and on the inside not so much. So we're going to slice it in my meat slicer and I'll get it as thin as I can manage, and then we're going to put it in the dehydrator and see how they turn out. I have been so exhausted lately with these puppies that it would be nice to be able to come home, just sit down, not have to worry about making dinner, and maybe just have some carnivore chips and watch some TV. So this was $4.68 a pound. So I absolutely love the carnivore chips I make with the New York steak, but this is half the price, so that could be a factor for some people. Looks like less fat, but I did choose a roast that had some good fat on the outside because I love the dehydrated fat. So $4.68 a pound, and this whole roast was $23.82. So let's get to slicing. Okay, let's get to slicing. Okay, so I ended up settling on a number 3 in the back, and it looks like to me that's pretty good measurement. It's a pretty good measurement. So we are going to get these salted up and throw them on the dehydrator. All right, we have half of our roast cut up. I'm going to dehydrate this at 140 degrees, and I'm going to go for probably at least 12 hours. I'll start checking it in the morning. Right now it is 3:30, so sorry, it's 2:30. So I'll start checking it tonight. So all I'm going to use is Redmond's Real Salt, and it is the Chef's Blend, the smoked salt. And I am going to give it a good coating because when you are not eating processed foods, you need more salt. No way. I think it's about time that I invest in a better dehydrator. This one works fine, but I don't like the fact that the air element is down below. I'd rather have it come from up top, specifically because I do a lot of the beef jerky. Every weekend I'm doing it, and I usually use the New York steak, and I get the one, the steak that has a lot of marbling, so that fat drips down, and I'm afraid it's gonna ruin the motor. It's not a necessity, but it's a want. First world problems, right? It has been a real struggle for me with these puppies. I'm not used to having something occupy my extra time. So it's been a real learning curve, and I can't leave them unattended. So in the mornings, it's been a real struggle for me. I'm so tired, and sometimes they wake me up at 1:30 or 2 in the morning, and then I just can't go back to sleep. So I know it's going to get better as they grow up, and then I'll miss the little puppy phase, I'm sure. But it's been a real adjustment for me. I don't know how you young mothers do it. I don't remember how I did it with 2 kids, but I love them. For my weight loss this month, I do not think I've lost anything. Maybe 2 pounds. And I attribute that to stress from the puppies, lack of sleep. I even caved in and bought some energy drinks. And I said I wasn't going to have any more of them, and I know they're probably not doing me any good, but I was so tired this morning getting up to go to my physical therapy appointment. I told my husband, let's get some. I'm looking forward to these puppies maturing a little bit. so I can at least step away and not have to have my eye on them 24/7. And that would give me a little bit of free time to do other things. I feel like my house is a wreck. So when we got home from the physical therapy appointment, that's the first thing I did, is started cleaning the kitchen, because things just kind of pile up. You come home and you throw something on the counter, and then you're tired, so you sit, and then it's still there the next day, and it adds up. This is Easter weekend. We're not going to go anywhere. We're just going to stay home. My husband's niece is going to come over, and she's going to hang out with us on Sunday. We usually go to her mom's, but I hear that my husband's sister and her husband were sick, so we're not going to go over there. And my youngest daughter does live a couple miles from me, but she's actually in Europe on a trip, so we're just going to kind of hang out and relax. And I went and bought some good steaks and ribs, so I think we might have ribs and steak. And I think I'm going to make some deviled eggs. Do you guys have any special carnivore or ketovore recipes that you make when you have family get-togethers? Hey, I got one more tray. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit all of this meat on there, but we're going to see. You know, I was looking at this and I was thinking I could make some good roast beef sandwich meat out of this, and then make my husband the pork rind bread or even the egg white bread, and he could have a hot roast beef sandwich, and that's one of his favorites. So I just need to get some bone broth and cook some of this meat up in there and see how he likes that, but I gotta make the bread first, so I don't have any. All right, everybody, we got our trays full of the eye of round meat. It's all salted up, and I'm gonna start this. We're gonna go, I'm just gonna set it for as high as it'll go. I think, oh, look at that. I think it goes up high, shoot. Okay, so we'll check it later, but temperature-wise, we're gonna go with 140, and that's it. So as soon as this is done, tomorrow I'll do an update on how it tastes. Crossing my fingers. Good morning, everybody. You may hear my puppies running around. They got the zoomies this morning, but this is real life. It is what it is. I'm gonna film the end of this meat chip video. So I did make the cost-effective eye of round carnivore chips. How they turned out. This bag is half a roast that I bought at Sam's Club. I did bring it home and sliced it myself on my meat slicer to the thinnest that I could get it without it being teeny tiny shreds. So if you want to ask Sam's Club if they'll cut it for you, the last time I was there, I did have them slice up a ribeye roast, and they did not get it as thin as I wanted. So I don't know if they can get it thinner than what I asked for, but I did ask for the thinnest that they could get it, and it still was too thick for my beef jerky. But if you have a slicer or a really good knife, you can bring this home and do it yourself. So I dehydrated them at 140 degrees for around 13 hours. Put them away last night before I went to bed, and now we're gonna test it out and see how they turned out. They've been in the fridge overnight. So this is what they look like. So that's what they look like. Let's test it out. Definitely has a crunch, and it is pretty good. I think that this is a good alternative if you want a lower fat version and half the price version of the New York steak that I dehydrate. Sorry as I talk with my mouth full. These are pretty good. Anyway, I'm gonna close the video out and post this for y'all to see. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, stop eating processed foods. What are y'all doing for Thanksgiving? Oh my God, it's not Thanksgiving. If you hear my pups, it's because it's morning and they're nuts, and this is real life. So it is what it is. I'm gonna try them this morning. Excuse me while I talk with food in my mouth. No.